Hello everyone, welcome to this vlog episode. It is episode number 49, Diary of a Multifaceted Mama. I'm gonna tell you, this is take 5, maybe 6, of me trying to record this vlog episode over the course of the past 2 weeks because I have been having technical glitches that keep happening, whether it's with regard to the recording itself, like not recording properly and my phone glitching, or it not storing properly, or it not uploading properly. So weird. So I'm going to take this as an opportunity for me to practice my frustration and stress tolerance with regard to technology, because I will say that when it comes to me managing stress and frustration, technology can sometimes be challenging for me to do that with, because in my head, I'm thinking technology is supposed to do what I tell it to do, what I want it to do, what it's programmed to do, what it's created to do. And when it doesn't, I can feel frustrated. And one of the things that is really important to me is that I can feel frustrated, of course, because I'm human, but that frustration doesn't ever take hold of me and start making decisions for me or steer my ship, so to speak. And that can happen, right? Like if we let frustration or stress mingle too long, it starts making our decisions for you or directing our behaviors or whatever the case is. And you know what? I'm very proud of myself because I did not let that happen. I am recording this again. It's been a brand new recording almost every single time, which says to me a couple things. What I'm choosing to take away from it, besides the practice for my frustration and stress around technology, what I'm also choosing to take away from this is the topic that I have been talking about in these recordings maybe just needed a little bit more refinement or attention by me before I share about it. And this is a vlog series, right? So the intention of this vlog series is for me to be transparent in my multifaceted, multi-passionate self as someone who holds many roles and responsibilities, but also who cares about many things in life. And is, it can feel easy for someone like me, and perhaps you can relate, to feel like they're juggling a lot of things. I have felt that way before. I do not tend to feel that way anymore because of the way that I approach life. It's not a magical pill. It's not some secret formula. It's very intentional, and it's something that's possible for each and every single one of us, just on a different spectrum of experience for each of us. But I want to be transparent, right, about what it is like to live life as a multifaceted, multi-passionate person. And that includes these hiccups, right? With things like trying to record a vlog 6 times and how sometimes that can be frustrating and how sometimes frustration can get the better of us. But it doesn't have to once we are aware that that's what's happening, or we're aware of the things that are kind of activating that button for us. And so it's actually not even the topic that I've been that's not even the topic that I've been wanting to talk about in this vlog series, but it's something clearly that I needed to be reintroduced to practice and to talk about here and just be transparent and honest about. Okay, so back into the segue of what I did want to talk about. I do think that there was more reflection and refinement that needed to be had by me because of the level of transparency that I want to happen in this vlog series. Transparency that is boundaried in a healthy way, not transparency that's like, oh, this is my actual personal diary with all of these thoughts and feelings and reactions that are just immediate within me without any kind of filter whatsoever. It's not that, because that would not be healthy. That would not be helpful. And I do want this to be healthy and helpful. And so the topic that I've been reflecting on more and more and more, and I reflect on it, I've been in some way, shape, or form, I've talked about reflecting on this in some kind of capacity, probably this whole vlog series. And we're on episode 49 now, so that's a lot of episodes. But the kind of place that I'm coming from today was sparked by a reminder of a cliche statement that many of us still make today. And it's, live as if there's no tomorrow, or live as if tomorrow is never promised, or live today as if it's your last. And while I do think that there are golden nuggets that we can extract from those particular cliche statements, like reminders to be present, right? To be in our present moment, to be present with the people that we're with, or to be present with whatever it is that we're doing. I truly do think that that's essential to living a fulfilling life. And we could extract those golden nuggets from those cliche statements. But more often than not, what I have found for myself, as well as for other high achievers that I've spoken to, is that if you're an achiever, if you're a driven, super passionate, super ambitious person who means well, right? Like you care about what you do, you want to excel at what you do, you want to do the best that you can as often as you can, then when you hear phrases like, or when you internalize phrases like live today as if it's your last, or tomorrow is never promised, then rather than a sense of, oh, let me be present, there's a sense of urgency that gets attached to it. And what I mean by urgency is this sense that there's so many things that I need to do in my life. There's so many things on my list that I need to get done, that if I don't get them all done now, if I don't accomplish them all now, if I'm not working towards everything right now, then what's going to happen? I'm not going to get it done. And so I must be constantly moving towards it, working towards it, fixing it, figuring it out, like and that is exhausting and it's overwhelming and it bites us in the butt. So if you are a fellow achiever, driven professional or parent, ambitious individual, whatever variation of those labels works for you, if you fall in the realm of that category, I'm there with you too. I have accomplished a lot in my life, and I can now say that I'm proud of what I have accomplished from a different place now than I used to feel like it came from. My accomplishments used to come from a place of I needed to prove myself. I need to push myself to prove my value, my worth, to try to get people to accept me so I don't feel alone or rejected. It doesn't come from that place anymore. So I can now look back and I can be proud of the accomplishments, the achievements, not because it means I proved anything, but because of how I've grown and what I've learned as a result of them. And because I've been very intentional about my reflection and my refinement through my experience of them. And so now my accomplishments, my achievements, they are something that they're a part of my life and they're even a part of my future. I have goals, right? I have dreams, I have aspirations still, but I don't have to achieve them in order to feel successful in living the life that I'm living, or in order to feel like I've proved myself. My sense of worth, my sense of value, my sense of internal success, like that, my barometer is not connected to needing to achieve or accomplish or hit specific goals. If it is for you still, that's definitely something to look at, because it's a road to burnout. I want to say I can promise you that. I'm always hesitant to say that, but because a promise is something that I think is, I hold that dear. I'm not going to promise something if I can't, but I can almost guarantee you that if that is the path that you are on and you are needing to hit certain goals or achievements or accomplishments in order to feel like you've proved yourself, in order to feel enough, at some point you're going to burn out, right? You can't stay on that path forever. It's just not a fulfilling, satisfying, sustainable path. So something for you to hold on to, check out if you want to. But I'm going to put that to the side there, because if you are someone that has a lot of aspirations, dreams, goals, and you are living like today is your last, then what does that mean for the aspirations, the dreams, the goals that you can't hit today, that you can't get done today? What does that mean, right? And whatever that means for you, like what is that? How does that make you feel? What does that making you want to do to fix it or to figure it out? So I'll tell you, for me, what I was kind of framing this around for myself was I'm in a season of life where I have children of varied ages. My oldest is actually 14 today. And my youngest is going to be 1 in a couple days. And in between the two of them, I have my two sons. One is 6 and one is 10. And we, still want another child. I always want at 5. And so What that means is that I have to be aware of how I can be a present mom, because that's very, very, very important to me, while also fulfilling the needs and the wants that I have with regard to my passions for my work in this world, whether it's through the professional realm or like in my connections with community or other people or as a citizen. I need to make sure that I'm fulfilling, like doing something to flame the fire that I have within myself about what really matters to me in this world. And if I tell myself, if I believe that tomorrow's never promised, then it is very easy for me to feel like I need to get my next book figured out and published ASAP. I need to figure out how to get in contact with Oprah immediately, because if I don't, then I'm going to fail. Nothing's ever going to work out. And I also have to make sure that I'm delivering my 5th baby ASAP, because if I don't, then I'm never going to have that 5th baby because the clock is ticking. And then also I need to make sure that this extension that we're getting put onto our house, it needs to happen immediately. There's no time for or any space for waiting. And then I need to make sure that I'm also taking care of my health, physical, mental, and otherwise at all points in time, and that I'm doing whatever I can as a partner to make sure that all of those things are getting checked off the list, because if not, I don't want to have a failed marriage and blah, 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 and the list goes on, right? Like blah, 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 and that doesn't even mention all of the smaller to-dos that have to happen each day, like dishes or laundry or cleanup or scheduling appointments or going to appointments or blah, 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 right? Like if we are living like today is the last day and like tomorrow is not promised, we are, as high achievers, more prone to look at that from an urgency standpoint, which puts us more in a place of stress, duress, frustration, and lesser productivity, even though we feel like we need to be more productive. And that's counterintuitive, right? So I found myself in my head thinking, where should I be focusing right now? Where should I be prioritizing right now? And I don't even like the word should. So that immediately right there is a red flag for myself if I'm using the word should with myself. Because I want to be really involved and present in my kids' lives. They're only going to be this age once, and then they're going to grow up, and they're growing up so fast. I want to be present for them. And I want to also feel like I am moving towards things that matter to me in the other aspects of my life, as a citizen, as a community member, as a wife, right, as a partner, as a friend, as a family member, as a therapist, as a mentor, as someone who is, a thought leader in the mental and spiritual space. All of these things, they matter to me so deeply. And I was thinking in my head, like, oh my gosh, if I'm only focused on one, like what about the other one? Am I just letting it go? I don't want to let the other ones go, because then what am I doing? I don't want to sacrifice, what matters to me. I don't want to feel like I'm getting stuck in like the day in, day out and like not feeling fulfilled. And so I had to catch myself and be like, you know what, Tony? Maybe tomorrow is never promised, and that's okay. It just means that being intentional about where you're prioritizing your focus matters, and you already know that. So let's start there. Today, where do you want your priority focus to be? This morning, where do you want your priority focus to be? This season of life, where do you want your priority focus to be? And it was the season of life one that I kept kind of going back and forth with, like breaking it down into the day to day or the hour to hour was much more clear for me. That's a really good place to start if it feels more clear for you. But then when I would blow out big picture about the season of my life, like, oh my gosh, but if I'm just focused on being this present, involved mom during this season of my life, what is it that's going to happen to all the things that I put into my career at this point? Like, are they just going to fall away? Are they just going to not mean anything? And guess what? I landed on no. Because what I truly firmly know and believe is that the experience that I'm living in my life right now, however I choose to prioritize and focus, is in fact part of what is going to help in propelling me and preparing me for whatever the next season brings. That means that it becomes even more important for me right here and right now to be really aware of where I'm setting my intentions, of where I'm putting my focus, of where I'm putting my energy, and that I need to be okay with whatever I decide. Because when I'm not okay with it, when I'm fighting with myself in my head about, oh, I should be focusing there, I should be focusing there, I should be doing this, why haven't I done that yet? Why haven't I written the third book yet? Blah, 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 all that stuff. I'm not present. So I'm not even really fully showing up for my day right here, right now. And so therefore, I am creating a more stressful, frustrating experience for me. And I'm more confused about how to move forward as well. So it's putting barriers in the here and now, as well as the forward movement that I want to make. It's unnecessary and unhelpful. Of course, there's times when it's just going to happen because we're human, and I've had that happen. But that is part of what can help us become more clear. That's part of what helped me keep asking myself, no, this confusion isn't right. Like, I don't need to live today as if it's my last and try to cram everything in it tonight as if there's a pop quiz, right? Like there's a big old test tomorrow morning that I need to shove everything in for right here, right now, or else. I don't need to live like that. I don't want to live like that. I don't choose to live like that. And I have lived like that in the past. And guess what? It didn't work out. And so this perspective shift has been really helpful for me. And I guess it's less of a perspective shift because I already held this perspective in many ways, but it's just an additional clarifying point for me to kind of bring in this cliche statement and remind myself that, you know, if I'm living today as if there's no tomorrow, then I'm only going to take from that, I'm only going to extract from that what really helps me, which is being present, being intentional, fully showing up, being aware of how I'm showing up. All of that really, really matters. Really, really matters. It is of the utmost importance. And the rest, I can't do anything about. I'm letting that be okay. So I hope that this conversation maybe stirred some things up for you that maybe you wanted to reckon with within yourself or clarify within yourself, or maybe my experience has resonated with you. I'm not choosing to throw aspirations, dreams, ambitions out the window because during the season of life, I am prioritizing for the most part, you know, focusing in my time, my energy, my efforts. I'm really showing up and being this present, involved parent. What I am doing is I am being very intentional about the space that I'm creating to reflect what I'm prioritizing. And I'm still making space for my dreams and aspirations and connecting with them and clarifying them and maybe even taking some action steps toward them as they become more and more clear for me. But I'm not making myself bad or wrong for it. I'm not shaming myself about it. I'm not creating a bunch of urgency that somehow I'm not going to succeed or it's not going to happen. Like, what I am reminding myself is that I'm experiencing what I'm experiencing right now in this season of life in a way that is going to help me either learn or grow or acquire skills or knowledge or make connections that are, it's just like amplifying, enhancing this foundation that will continue to grow and help me continue to move towards the aspirations and dreams that I'm just going to continue to create, right? Because that's what we do when we are driven, when we are ambitious. You know, we have goals, we hit those goals, we create new goals. And that's okay if we are willing to enjoy the journey along the way, if we're being really intentional about how we're showing up and being present in the journey along the way. That's what I'm doing. How about you? Go ahead and comment below if you want to contribute. We love to hear what you have to say. Till next time, y'all.